Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of CIMM's 11th annual Converged TV Measurement and Data Summit. My name is John Watts. I'm the Managing Director of CIMM, the Coalition for Innovative Media Measurement, a subsidiary of the not-for-profit Advertising Research Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a fantastic day yesterday, diving through a really wide range of issues, and I'm pleased to say that today offers more of the same. We have a wonderful lineup of speakers, panelists and presenters deep diving into some of the most important and pressing issues facing the industry. To get things started, I'm going to give a very quick update on a project that we announced back in December last year, our guide to convergent TV measurement in the US market. So our original idea was to produce a study, a comparative analysis of the measurement offerings of the major contenders to provide currency-grade measurement services in the US market. There are 7 or 8 companies who were approached and had agreed to take part. We saw this as a very collaborative process. So we had reached out to the CIMM membership, who had given us fantastic insight and input to help us shape the RFI, which was sent to providers after a long collaborative process of developing it on February 1st this year. A couple of days after, of course, our friends at NBCU published the lookbook, and we thought it would be appropriate to pause briefly to review the RFI, really just to make sure that what we focus on and produce is something that's complementary. As a famous economist once said, when the facts change, it's best to change one's mind or one's position, and certainly to redraft the RFI. So what is our plan now? The new plan is very straightforward. The feedback from the members is that there is still a clear requirement to produce what we had originally planned to produce, an authoritative, objective guide that provides really clear insights onto the big differences between the providers. We're blessed in the market at the moment to have a genuinely competitive, innovative ecosystem of measurement providers, but they don't all do the same thing. They do slightly different things. They have slightly different approaches. And what we really want to do with the guide, our revised guide, is to tease out the differences between vendors, and particularly to look at how they deal with some of the more pressing measurement problems. So we're planning to issue a revised RFI before the end of this month, in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be revising it. We have been revising it. We'll continue to revise it. We would hugely welcome input from CIMM members and from the wider industry into the issues that you would like to see the guide cover. So what kinds of issues are we thinking about covering in the guide? Well, it'll cover a pretty broad range of things, but some of the key ones we want to focus in on. First of all, definitions. We heard a bit yesterday how even something as simple as an impression or a household doesn't necessarily have a broad definition that's been adopted. We want to tease out how different providers are defining different things. We want to look at how they are resolving between people's households and devices, what Andre Swanston at TrueOptic, now a TransUnion company, calls PhD. How do they move between these 3 different data points and signals? What are their coverage estimates for different channels? We know that channels vary quite widely. How are they dealing with measurement of over-the-air only households which in some cases don't have smart TVs, and in some cases don't even have smartphones? What is their approach for mingling data from set-top boxes and from ACR sources? How do they deal with diversity, audience diversity? These are just some of the questions we want to dive into, but the plan is very much as it was. We want to produce a rigorous comparative analysis that really helps to build understanding across the industry and supports the huge progress that's been made. So watch this space, and if you'd like to feed in, do please let us know. I'd also like to flag that as we get into the meat of today's session, we're going to be having an update on another important CIMM study, the Identity Resolution and Data Matching Study, and Jim Spaeth from Sequent Partners will be giving us an update on the work that him and the team there are doing.